If I go to my profile, so yeah, we're live on here.
There you go.
There we go. I'm just going to share it onto guys. If you are watching for some random reason, you're on Facebook and you have nothing else better to do at this point in time, I'm just
lockdown has you locked down.
Yeah, pretty much. I am just going to share it over to sharing group.
And I'm going to pretend like I actually know what's going on.
No, it's not in group. So let's share in the page you manage. Yes, that's what I want. Straight shooters. And I'm going to share it there. Sorry, your privacy, man. You cannot share it on Straight Shooters timeline. Okay. Well, I'm going to share it later on Straight Shooters. I'll share it. See if I can share it over onto my creative. So I've got a couple pages I manage. And let's posting no privacy situation going on. So it is on my Facebook page.
Nice.
My personal Facebook page. Guys, just so you know, we've got a brick cutting machine outside, so we're hoping that won't fire up for at least 20 minutes.
Depends how long their beer break is, I guess.
Yeah, let's hope it's half an hour for safety's sake. But we're just here just to introduce ourselves.
Yep.
We are two blokes. We're just pretty much going to be two guys chatting what guys do. And we're just going to try and tell the truth about everything that we go through.
Yeah, from our perspective and in history and experiences that we've had in life that's kind of brought us to our own conclusions, I guess.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
That's what I think men need to do more of, is just
That's right.
chew the fat with each other, or sit around the campfire, have a beer, and just talk straight. And that's what right. Our main goal is. Like, I really want to have it on social media, that you just can do it, and there's no stigma behind it all, that we have to internalize everything.
Yeah, or even just keep it to yourselves because you're scared of what someone else is going to say or do or think or whatever else it is. I think I've come from an environment where people talk straight all the time.
Yeah.
People go, it's because you're South African, saying which we should have subtitles so people understand me, right?
Yeah, they should be there, but if you just slow down your speech a little bit, slow it down, and it won't be so. What did Jim just say?
I have no idea what he just said.
But I guess if this goes to the South African guys, I need subtitles.
That's right. We'll organise you. Definitely going to need you subtitles.
Yeah, because I jumble my words and I speak a lot of slang. So if you guys don't actually understand me,
there's going to be some comments underneath. It's going to have like little pieces of sandpaper all over the show. So just because. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we've got a few different topics, guys, that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
But today I just thought I saw something on the radio.
You saw something on the radio?
Saw something on the radio.
You are profound.
Damn straight. So
didn't realize your radio had braille.
I heard something.
Oh,
there you
right.
go. Is that better? On the radio. Is that better? So I heard something on the radio, and it was about mothers, and there were not, I guess, things that went wrong with their kids when they were looking after them.
And that made you think of me because I don't have a beard. Because there's a song, right? An Australian band came up with a song. It says if your dad doesn't have a beard, you've got two mums.
Well, does your kids have two mums?
One of them says that I've got two mums. So I said, well, he doesn't have a beard, so technically he's my favorite daughter.
Do I need to speak to Mish or ask what's going on?
Well, I don't know. You got the idea from having mums bring their perspectives, so
So now it's Dad's.
Now it's Dad's turn.
Because I'm pretty sure the stories get a bit weirder when it's Dad's.
Yeah, I know it is. There's a little closet that we keep some things locked in that no one should find out about.
Yeah, and Jim's going to open that closet for us because I'm sure there's some doozies. Definitely some doozies in there.
Of course. Especially when you're coming from Africa and there's so little restrictions on everything, from hop in the back of the ute. You'll be right. You'll be all right.
Just hold on for dear life.
Yeah, for people in South Africa, ute is a bakkie. Hop in the back of a bakkie. The names we have, I know.
But
Doesn't
how
make
do we
any-
have ute?
Utility vehicle,
Okay,
utility
that's-
van, or something like that.
That's the first.
It makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
Bakkie.
But a bakkie.
There's a few words that I kind of didn't quite understand where they came from, origin-wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we, from coming over here, I thought everyone was on the Wild West because
Nah.
videos I've seen growing up about Australians.
That's more country Australia.
Country Australia.
Country Australia, you get a lot looser.
Okay.
But
okay.
City, we're quite uptight. I'd have to say.
I had a quick
Rules
learning
and regulations. What you got a ute and you chucked your kids in the back of it driving around Sydney.
Yeah.
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 And
No,
you
that
got
would,
pulled over straight away. Go, what are you doing?
I remember having one of my sons I had like one of these classic Vespers and just put him on the front and one on the back. And I have one kid in the front, one kid on the back, and we'd take them to primary school, and go and drop them off at school with their helmets on. They had helmets.
At least they had helmets.
Yeah.
Like you go to Thailand or Bali or Indo, and they're
it's
India,
next level.
India's next level where you have a whole family of 6
Yeah.
on one. At least it wasn't a Vespa. At least it's a motorbike. Maybe it has a bit more grunt. I don't know, but
wasn't the cleverest of my ideas. I think in hindsight I might have done things a little differently.
yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a few things, man. I think for me, kids are the best in the sense of they bring out the best in you and they bring out the worst in you, and you can. I've counted the number of times that I've absolutely lost it with my kids and gone, what I'm trying to tone it down a bit.
But you said you lost it. So.
Lost it is
Child
is the
protection
right-
services.
It's funny because when you have kids, there's going to be a few people that are going to be knocking on your door and saying, Robbie, what's going on here, man?
And it's fully justified. They're my kids.
Yeah.
I bring them up the way I feel is correct.
Is that your... Okay.
That's my perspective.
Mm.
I feel it's correct. And that's the only way I feel to be a parent.
Oh, good. I mean, that was my saving...
Did you look down in the camera and give that same facial expression to me? Because that was like a complete uncertainty of
Well,
everything.
anyone that has an opinion on parenting that actually hasn't parented, you got it.
Well,
it's like
no.
telling a virgin giving you an advice on any
How
kind
to
of
have sex,
sexual
yeah.
positions. You kind of go, I don't come and talk to me a little bit later on when you've had some experience.
That's my experience. I'm sure that's going to evolve
Which is
and change.
0.
Yeah, pretty much. I've got plenty of nieces and nephews, but they're polite.
That's
to
not
me.
entirely true because your experience would have been how you've been parented and
Yes.
how you've been brought up. And you've kind of gone, that's your only perspective to
Yeah, it
say,
is.
this is what parenting is like.
Not really. I've got so many nieces and nephews that I get to see how my brothers and sisters have
And what they've
parented.
done wrong and said, let's not do that. And let's not do that.
I'm definitely gonna do the wrong. That's
Yeah.
a guarantee. There's no if buts. I already know I'm gonna stuff up. So Soph, I'm sorry. Straight away. Sorry. So,
Too good. Now, look, I mean, I think for me is that I've got multiple times. One memory keeps popping into my head where I'd over disciplined my one son.
oh wow.
And he had done something that was wrong,
Yeah.
but he kind of didn't deserve the magnitude or whatever the punishment. I can't even remember, to be honest, what the punishment was. I can't tell you I tasered him. I didn't do that. I didn't do a lot of this
You
stuff.
pulled out the stick or the baseball or the cricket bat, the baseball bat. You actually don't. Oh, you do have cricket bats over there.
They do.
You guys
They
can't
also had
play
a thing called
cricket
a shambuk. And if you've never, ever seen a shambuk in action,
No.
it is brutal. And
dear.
the indigenous population in South Africa, they discipline with that, and it leaves proper marks. It's made from old tires, from what I understand, melted down tires. From what I understand, I might be way wrong on that, but
We'll find out.
yeah, I'll Google it.
Google shambuk.
Yeah, you've probably seen a few people Googling things from South Africa. Vuvuzela, what is that? And what's that terrible sound at the World Cup soccer events?
Thank you, South Africa. Thank you, Africa, for the vuvuzela.
Yeah, let's not mention that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd over-disciplined him, and I kind of went and said, one of the things that I didn't remember my parents ever apologizing to me for stuff that they've done wrong. And where everyone in the room knows, Mom and Dad, you've done wrong, and no one says anything, it just leaves a bit of resentment in your heart. Kind of say like, hey, I don't ever want to be like that. So he was probably about 3 or 4.
Oh, wow.
He was about 4 years old, and we're sitting down at the dinner table having dinner, and I said to him, hey, boy, I wanted to, you know that thing that you did today? And he went, yeah, I know that thing that I did today. I said, yeah. I want to tell you I'm sorry because I'd over-disciplined what you should have. You shouldn't have got the punishment as much as what you should have done. And I was completely shocked by what happened next. It blew my mind because I've never seen or heard or anything. This kid, 4 or 5 years old, jumps across a table, food flying everywhere. There's like bowls and food. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And he dives for me, grabs me around my neck and says, Dad, it's my fault. I did something wrong. I deserved it. And I went, stop it now. You've just taken my beautiful first apology ever and ruined it by being the bigger man. And here's this 5-year-old being the bigger man about stuff by actually saying things like, no, I deserve that. And not that he deserved that, but that he took ownership of what his part was in the whole thing. And by him hugging me, I was like, man, I can apologize to you any day of the week because there's a mutual respect and a mutual love that we kind of have for one another.
Definitely.
So, I mean, there's some stuff, man, that parents should write things down. What their kids that do that are funny, man. My other son came through, and it was a miserable day like this, raining, and it was cold, and I thought, I want to treat these kids right, man. I want to take them for a movie. Back then, where you could go and hire a DVD,
What are DVDs?
Those are things that you use for placemats now. You kind of coasters to make sure that your coffee doesn't get.
I remember something like the cassette tape.
No, that's my era, not your era. You had DVDs.
Okay. I had DVD. Okay. What about MIDI discs? No, DVDs. No, they're frisbees.
That's what they are.
Awesome frisbees.
They also have them as little things that you hang around your rearview mirror, just for decoration,
just to piss other people off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought this CD so that you could have a look and see what I'm listening to. What I'm listening to, if you ever.
But it's all digital. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That's right.
Cool.
I see on the label.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I thought I'm going to go and hire some DVDs.
Yeah.
And I walked into this shopping center where there's a supermarket there. And, we're in the area, in South Africa, we're quite fairly well known that people would recognize us.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to get some popcorn and whatever else. And what people might not know is that my one son has cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And so it affects his speech.
They definitely wouldn't know that.
Well, some of my friends watching will go like, oh, no, who are you talking about now?
Okay, cool.
So he would walk, because his speech is affected, he'd take words and he'd mesh them up. And so it would be, instead of controller, it'd be troller. Can I have a turn of the troller?
Because he's so excited.
Yeah, and in his brain, he's economizing words.
Yeah.
So, for example...
So Aussies all have cerebral palsy because we accommodate those words constantly. We shorten everything up.
That makes so much more sense now. It's not your fault.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, it was so cute. One of the Aussie kids at kindergarten, I walked outside and he looks up at his teacher while I'm getting into work, and he looks up at his teacher and he goes, "Don't worry, miss, he just washed his hands." He said, and he was trying to tell her that he had used all the proper precautions during this COVID-19 situation. He said, "Don't worry, miss, I've also used sanitizer." And I thought, man, we should totally start calling it sanitizer now.
Always,
And it was just compressing the words.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer, sanitizer.
It's
got a lovely ring to it.
Yes,
my son,
yes,
he comes out, points at the packet, and he yells out at the top of his lungs because I'm carrying DVDs.
And you're in the middle of the supermarket.
In the middle of the supermarket, and a whole bunch of popcorn that we're going to fry up, climb under the doona.
Okay, I'm trying to work out the word that's going to...
And he yells out at the top of his voice, "Dad, is that my porn?" And as a parent, you shrink back, you go like, "Oh no," because you know there's people around you that have heard this little kid shout out that you've got some porn of sorts. And what do? I thought, man, if I ever shrink back, if he sees me shrinking back again, I'm gonna be toast for life. So I looked at him, I said, "No," and I made sure I was looking at everyone that heard it. It's my porn. Obviously, he's talking about popcorn, not the DVDs, for those people that are thinking.
Oh dear,
something otherwise. So kids, they provide the best, man. They're best and the worst out of you. You can land up apologizing to them. You can land up, having the best times with them, and you can also just have your worst times with them, man. But knowing what I know now, I would probably have had kids sooner, and I probably would have got married sooner. I'm not saying this is one size fits all, because it doesn't fit everybody. No. Some people, should wait for kids. I saw this cool meme the other day, and I think I want to brutalize it. It said, "Parents, please don't let your kids be, have another kid to sort out your problems. They shouldn't have a job before they're born.
Yeah.
And I went, what? That's profound, man.
Yeah,
Kids shouldn't have a job to try and fix up their parents' relationship
No
before
way.
they're born. So not one size fits all. But for me, I didn't realize how ready I was. And I think also if you know you're making a mistake, then just own it.
Yeah.
Own it with anybody, man. If you try and duck and dive, people know you're a duck and diver then. And I'm not a duck and diver.
Nah, say it straight.
That's right.
Yeah,
and you are like that.
What, duck and
I'd
dive?
phone you a few times and say, hey, Rob, there's something that's gone south. And you go, yep, that's me. And I went,
Oh,
okay.
look, I think in the last couple of years, I've learned how to really own my problems, because there's no point in blaming someone else. But it's also, there needs to be a justification sometimes. Like, I own it. Okay, not a problem. It is my fault. But was there a reason or something across those lines? But I guess that's not really owning it, because you're blaming something else. I don't know.
That's spot on.
It gets confusing. It's a real grey area. Okay, cool. Own it. Yes, I stuffed up.
Yeah.
But this is potentially the reason why I stuffed up. And that's not really owning it. I feel full ownership is, okay, yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
I'll change, I'll fix.
Yeah. Well, not even that you're going to fix it, just I want to work on it.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I don't want someone to say, I want to make sure that all that is resolved. I just want to know that you're focusing on it or
exactly.
putting some systems in place to make sure that it doesn't or less likely to happen again. It's funny because at the schools that I'm at, there's signs that encourage kids to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're out of school, like that's it. There's no more
you
mistakes.
can't make
You don't mess up anymore. You are not
Please.
allowed to mess up anymore.
Look, that is probably the contradictory of everything that you could possibly do. I think make as many mistakes as possible.
Yeah.
Make them as many as possible, but own them.
And also the
Own
consequences of that too.
Yeah.
If you've stuffed up and there's consequences for that, you've got to make that right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
so much more can be said about that.
Yeah, no, you definitely need to own. If you make a mistake, I'm going to take it over to a business perspective, because I like to think of things out of a business perspective. But you stuff up a business, you work out what you stuffed up on, how you stuffed up, and then work on the reasons why. And then from there, you can. But as a person, okay, you stuffed up as a person. Like for myself, I did a massive stuff up when I was 18, 19. We'll bring that up later on down the track. But I owned it.
And it is a big one.
Yeah, it is.
So tune in later for that one.
Yeah, definitely come up later. And it really shaped my mindset, completely shaped my mindset for a good solid 10 years. And then I really struggled to rebuild myself from that. But in saying that, I owned it. I had to serve the consequences of it. And then from there, I was able to, move on. And it's not the end of the world with it all. There is a next day and a day after. And that's where you pull the positivity out of everything is, okay, there is a tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you think that there isn't a tomorrow, then it's a downward spiral from the get-go.
Yeah.
So,
very good.
But yeah, so your kid decides to yell out, "Hey, Dad, you got porn," in the supermarket, which is a classic. And then the other one, unfortunately, you punished him a bit too severely. Yeah, couple good stories. Stories.
There's more. I mean, but again, it boils down to you got to try and dig it up and think about what you want to share on. And
it's more about letting, I guess, dads or men out there know that we all stuff up.
Yeah,
we all push the boundaries on how we think we're going to parent, and you don't know how to. I guess you don't. I'm going to say I guess, because I'm not a parent. As Jim's pointed out, I'm not a parent.
Yeah.
So I guess that you're only a parent when you're actually being a parent.
Yeah, and I think also is that you might not have had the best role models. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. When you're as a parent, you're kind of going like, I don't know what's I should be doing as a father or doing like as a parent, or what's the right thing to do. But growing up, you realize I got frustrated a whole bunch of times, and I don't know why. So what were those things that bugged me out?
Yeah.
Not owning up to someone's mistake is one of them. And there's a few other things that, but it's so much easier to pick up on other people's issues and say, that's I can easily see their problems.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your own problems, you've got a blind spot. So
Yeah,
that's why they call it a blind spot, because you don't know.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things is, my dad he passed away last year, and one of the things that he was so good at is that whenever he wanted to discipline me, he always used to use sarcasm.
Yeah.
And say, like, you're an idiot, or you whatever it is. And for him, that, you know, like coming from his background where he used to get beat up by
Yeah.
his parents. Like if you made a mistake, you got in the UK, you got hammered, you know,
the wooden spoons.
at
or
the very least.
Yeah.
You know, and so for him, he was like holding back. He was
Yeah. So it's actually being
self-control.
Yeah,
You know, he was like, I'm just going to be a little bit, turn it into a joke, turn it into something that's laughable. But for me, I didn't see it as laughable.
Yeah.
I felt like I was full of shame at the end of every time that he
Hopeless.
finished off with
Yeah.
me, you know. And so every time I catch myself, trying to make a joke out of something my kids have done, and I get sarcastic. I'm like, if it's really harsh, it's sarcasm, and I do this regularly.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do it once a week at least. I'll make a joke sarcastically, and they'll go like, "Yeah, very funny, Dad," and I'll go like, "Yeah, you know, that's," and I encourage them to say, "Listen, that's my baggage that I'm bringing into this thing. Make sure you don't carry that on. Find a better way, you know. Make a joke about it, but I don't know. Sarcasm's a good thing. Sarcasm's also a bad thing. But you'll know when there's something that's a little off, and there's a little bit of a bite to that sarcasm. Then you know that's not right. That's when you should apologize and go, "Hey, that's not right."
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
another fault as a parent.
Oh,
Sarcasm
you
plenty.
failure. How
Yes,
dare
yes.
you? Absolute failure.
I think that's also the other thing is that people only are quite happy to talk about stuff when there's no fear of consequences. Because we talked about the consequences of stuff. If you've done something wrong, own it. But then, you know, what about the consequences that come with it? For me, it might be a few comments at the end of this podcast, like you absolute numpty.
Awesome. Bring it
know?
on. Bring it on.
You're a loser on all levels, whatever it might be. But I think
At least you watched it. That's the thing. I got a view. Thanks for that.
I think for me is also just like your consequences might vary, but to learn from them.
Yeah.
You know, if you haven't learned anything from that, you know. Also, speaking of which, I saw something the other day that said, only take criticism from someone that you're willing to take advice from. And I thought, man, that's spot on, man.
So true.
So these guys that comment at the end of stuff, they're the armchair warriors, and they're like, I'll show you from the safety of my bed. You know, no one knows who I am. I'm an anonymous. No one will find out. Exactly. And you kind of go, don't take it too hard. For all of you guys that have tried something and someone's given you a negative comment or something that wasn't as clever, you don't take their advice unless you're willing. Sorry, don't take their criticism unless you're willing to take their advice. So,
exactly.
Love that.
And on that note, I think it was a short and sharp little podcast.
Yeah.
We're just trying to avoid the lovely brick cutting machine, and I think they're going to start up soon again. So, guys, on the other side, this is all available. I'm going to post it as a podcast, so this will be available as audio, as well as you can watch it on, I guess, Robert Spanky's Facebook page. I'm going to post it on to Straight Shooters. We've got a Facebook page called Straight Shooters.
Yep.
And we'll slowly start putting more video content on there and bringing more content for you guys. So see you, I guess, in another week.
Yeah.
We haven't even confirmed that we're actually talking it out now. So in another
Captain
week.
Wing It.
Yeah, Captain Wing It. So next week we're doing another one. Jim hasn't agreed to it yet. He's very, very busy. I'm a bit more laid back. But it'll be on alternating days, but I'll keep all the videos up so you guys can watch it through and through throughout the week. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for this.
Sweet, guys. See you then.
Ciao.